at King Ditch Olamide Omalaja. Welcome. Thank you very much. We are basically talking about Jeremiah in the for the third week, bringing every issue to an end, meaning that there are certain things that the universe cannot take. So off. He called them off, just like we saw uh, last week. Sunday is the beginning of the week, and that's the one order. And there's nothing I can do about it. I said, return unto thy rest, O my soul, for the Lord hath dealt bountifully with thee. Meaning, either those who are criminals are like they were sent back, whether it was King David that was so much tormented in his mind, for thou hast delivered my soul from death. So what Jeremiah did there in Jeremiah 43 verses 1 is that he actually bring all those souls that are tormenting people, he brought them all to rest. And we know that there are much work to do. And as we are doing those works, and it came to pass that when Jeremiah had made an end of speaking unto all the people, all the words of the Lord, like saying, in the 24 hours, we shall get to the economic financial ground where God is calling. We shall get into Israel. We shall establish the court. We shall establish the house of David, unicorn, the 8 day Hebrews of Hebrews, and the kind of Arabic entrance where it was made, having 851 cubits and 12 of them, the length of man at the height of the gate into it, said, for which the Lord their God had said unto them, even all these words, like saying, all this encyclopedia, all this constitution, all this poetry book with power of healing and commotions of Sharia, it's simply saying that they all are for teaching us. We have patience, we have comfort, we have perseverance, all of them led into establishment. Although the Bible call it hope, we cannot keep on hoping when everything we need to establish are already available. So we don't call it hope anymore. We call it, we have learned all this, we have patience, we have comfort into the establishment. That's why we are at Virginia, USA. I thought about the map of Virginia, look like taking something from the grass and then taking it up to an height. Some will fall to the other side. I call the capital state. I said, it's Obadiah. I said, it is Obadiah at the 42nd week. The last day there was Saturday. And then what God was telling us previously were that Jeremiah 42 verses 1, people were coming to God. So we have had schedules of various scenarios, which even though if we use these verses next year as Christmas, as state religion, it is the highest professorship degree, which you need to renew consistently from the presence of the Lord all the time and all the time in this regeneration. So there will be better things. You can just make a court system and then you can sentence criminals, having like bringing so many court issues to an end. When we gather here in Israel, the 8 day of Hebrews or unicorn of the house of David, you know, there are many issues that we can actually bring to reality. So let us talk about, and it came to pass that Jeremiah had made an end of speaking. So you can had made an end of the speaking, but that's not the end. It might be the beginning of a manifestation unto all the people of the words of the Lord for which the Lord had sent him to them, even all these words. Meaning, the words had not come to an end. What all these words means everything we now daily we now teach to people concerning Virginia is that we actually had not established anything, but you looking at the map of Virginia, you know deliberately that many things have been done to cut local governments, to establish the Armstrong University, where it got hundreds of facilities waiting for me from P1 that I might be able to achieve it. And that one is done on Tuesdays. Then we set up a Senate with probably 10 people who are representing each continent. In fact, he who come from a continent does not represent the continent he come from. He represents another. If somebody comes from Africa, you don't represent Africa. When you get to the Senate, you begin to represent America. Because your name will be in the basket where I will tell you Topiko. Then you came from Europe, you now pick Australia. Good for you. That's how to start. Nothing had actually came or come to an end, if not that we begin to look at specific informations, specific daily verses, because we still have more attitudes across the world and we have more words just for you to digest, more testimonies, signs and wonders, things that happen around the world. We still have more that will tell you. So, what is Psalm 116, verses 7 talks about? Let's start from maybe one by one. We all get to the sixth day, get to the seventh day, and the whole of the 43rd week is gone. So, return unto thy rests. O my soul, for the Lord hath dealt bountifully with thee. For thou art delivered my soul from death, my eyes from tears, and my feet from falling. This is what we want God to do for our head government. That God should perfect our feet on the ground, on the soil. That we should have a foundation. That the soul of our economy should not die. That even though Mr. Buhari is so stubborn, going to Seoul, the South Korea parts, I joined both North and South Korea, doesn't mean that the good of Seoul as a capital of the whole of Korea will be denied. God will bless the land from this Sunday throughout. Return to thy rest, Buhari. Our own soul in Korea is not where you come and stop. For the Lord had dealt bountifully with thee. A great crown had sentenced you out of administration. And don't try to be moved by the word of life, nor deliver a group of company into my hands in Lagos. We already have it. It's not your authority that will make us to have it. For thou art delivered our soul here in Korea from the debts that Buhari is bringing inside it. Like Three Crown had warned you, you cannot be an administrator again. You are fired. My eyes from tears and my feet from falling. Jeremiah talked about as it all came to pass that when the federal government had made an end of speaking about Muhammadu Buhari to be a tyrant unto all the people, even when things are happening so, and it was there today, all the words of the Lord our God, for which the Lord our God has sent the three crown to the nation to deliver them. All of these words, you know, it's a beautiful thing that all this happened at this time. And I'm congratulating the kings in China, and then China West, China East. This is our division continue to go in the division, you know, of China. I think it's going to be okay whether we're having East Yen or West Yen. It's going to be that we cannot actually bring some things to the end, but that some things back and front, that 4 and 3 or 3 and 4 are claiming the promise. Capitalism is the beginning of federalism. If you don't have enough money, you will need to use all you have. If possible, rent your land out to the Bank of UK or to the Sub Bank, and let them assist you to pay for your blockchain commission, which is a 110 billion pound. You will be able to follow an estimation, although you have unlimited input of digital currency, but there is a limit according to your budget, the estimation of your budget, meaning that I am going to estimate, for example, at the West China and East China, I am going to estimate, well, let's say, 200 billion. Okay, let's go straight to UK that spends 700 billion pounds in 10 years ago and now spend closely 800 billion pounds. Why do you have to spend 800 billion pounds annually? So you cannot, right, in West China or East China, spend more than the 800 billion yen. For example, you then have two sides, that's 1.6 trillion. You cannot both spend, you don't need to. You are partitioned, and you cannot both spend a 1.6 trillion together. You will spend 800 billion, the West will spend 800 billion, and that is the estimates of a yearly input. Then you talk about subsidy of products. You have to subsidize products in the first beginning. You don't need to disagree with me, or the Senate, or the rep, or the exec, or my executives, or my partners. You know, I have three partners. After me is King Charles III. After King Charles III is King Washington George Bush Albert. That's how we got plus two, three, four, which the two represent me front and back. And then, which if you turn evil to me, I turn evil to you. The evil I might turn to you is going to kill your own good and everything about you. Give you black records. You have King Charles the third, and then we'll have Washington George Bush Lord Herbert. This is for the third week, of which he just zoomed him out. I know that he is the 43rd president of America, was why we look back through four to King Charles III, and it's speaking about the U.S. There's a one-time governor of Texas, and then the dynasty king of America, which is of the west side of America, and good tidings are coming from there. So what have we today? There ain't much words than that. We are live on Facebook, and we're also live on YouTube. And every words that have been said to us is of in time. And I hope in time, West and East China can follow the time budgets, which is a partitioning of something roughly 300 and 30, 2 or 3 billion, million pound, two or probably 333 million pound in an estimation, and which I want each of you to have is 167 million each. You will give us a ledger on how you do that. I only estimate that as Governor General, Commonwealth, riches of the Lord, at despite military of states, the consonant president of the United Nations used to be as world president. We have those ranks, just like we have Zion, know it as the Church of the Firstborn. We also have it as the Heavenly Jerusalem. It's got two other names, so they are protecting it. That's why I said Governor General, which is the Lord, Earth, and then another planet, Ministry of States, then consonant president of the nations, known as the world president, about four ranks. Not to forget about Archemperor. These five ranks actually brought us into the fifth dimension of the whole planet, then which now take us to the fourth republic of Nigeria. And then we have been telling them that we have transited since 2021, December 25, downstream 2022, March, April, May, June, July, August, September 5. We launched Septagon, Septagon, and then we actually finally transited. Or to fortify the economy, Muhammadu Buhari want to go elect, but God said no, you cannot go. Psalm 116:7, even though he's coming to Korea today, he said, return unto thy rest. Don't ever step. You might be killed. Return. Don't, you are no longer an administrator. Bible says that we cannot win our enemy by ourselves. Said we're going to use the word of God. That is John 1 to 4 says that the word of God is light to our paths and it brings life to us. Said by that word, which is God, we shall defeat the enemy. Said, oh my soul, meaning that all the properties of the federal government in soul is mine. It's mine as the Ministry of States. It's mine as the Arch Emperor. It's mine as the world president. It's mine as Governor General. It's mine as the consonant head of state or president of the United Nations. I mean, that sometimes United Nations got to be proud of itself, not to just be an organization that was installed to save people from hellfire and unclean spirits, to teach people about humanitarian and multilateralism, and then to teach people about caring for the planet, but that it actually got to be a tangible form of government who Senate. Not only that, God said, for the Lord had dealt bountifully with thee, Buhari. Lord had dealt with you for 3 crowns to spend 234 seconds. You must be terminated. There's a time where there will be a breakthrough, for thou hast delivered soul from death. So they delivered you from death by not killing you, by just removing your putting aside. He said, my eyes from tears and my feet from falling. We must use this word sovereignly against that criminal. We know that his end is to be dumped in the Atlantic Ocean or the Red Sea, including all of his administrators, be it the one in Lagos, there are 37 of them, 36, 37 of them, all of them, and all their deputies, their Senate president, their rep speaker, their judges, their police. This is what actually make us to want to defund police worldwide. It seems like They are not hearing what God is saying by the three crown that go and get this man. If he step into South Korea in the soil, my friend, get him. We're about to dump the shit. So therefore, you've been a good man and they will like you. But you cannot tell us that you are now 79. Actually, you have spent 17 years, you have spent 7 years and some few months in power. Why don't you spend exactly 7 months in the month of May 29? And then you tell us you have a vision that you think we are going 9 years. It's not now you'll be telling us stories. You actually not to be in that seat because Three Crown had done it all. You cannot say that you want to be our prince. We don't want you. We don't want you at all. We don't want to want we want you to renounce openly that if you take another step there, the police rather arrest you from USA. They would not want themselves to be defunded. And it came to pass when Jeremiah had made an end to all of this, speaking unto all the people, all the word of the Lord their God, for which the Lord their God had sent him to them. Even all these words that I've spoken as well. So happy Sunday, the beginning of the 43rd week. I want you all to go claim your seat as federal police, knowing that if we cannot get this man into the Red Sea, it means that policing worldwide, we have to begin to defund police, cut their salary short, seize their wages and whatever, reduce them till like they don't have much. But at the then asking question, why is the federal government do this to them? Tell them, you know who is to be dumped in the third million bridge of the Red Sea. You know, Three Crown cannot be in power. We are destined at plus 234. And then we have a lot of things to do. Not forgetting about the Toyota Camry, the Hummer, the prices. That's 7,500 is the limit of price you can buy any car in USA. Because we have to bring that price down. The economy is staggering, and then we have to look at how these things are going to be done. And then we're going to be looking at why should an individual pay subsidy for a vehicle that is getting more cheaper. I'm talking about when you hear about a price of a vehicle to be like $25,000, and then federal government asks you that it is now 7,500. Then you took 25,000 there, and then you need to pay 7,500, and then the balance of the subsidy is just running closely to like something close to like $13,000, and then you have to pay a whole lot of $12,000, and then in the receipt is he wrote it there is 7,500 for an Oma 2 or thereabout, and then the subsidy there he wrote it there as of 13,000 plus, and then you yourself, whether or not you yourself now you now want to pay that 13,000 plus for the vehicle is very wrong. It is the federal government that will do that. So there is an establishment, a beginning that are good news. I want everybody, every continent to go and prepare this sample from all the real, the riches of the Lord that you need to estimate some kind of subsidization and some price coming down, and that which we need to work. It's all in the digital system of government. There's nobody who, no matter how much you bring about 167 million from your continent, we've got 10 continents, we have got 10 batches. We've got another batch going to the Virginia University, Upstate University, which is headquartered, the FCT of the planet. And also, we've got another one going to the UN. Despite there's already 2.5 trillion in two places naira that forwarded from the 2021 to the 2023 bucket, and about 5 trillion naira. So we need to standardize this currency, we need to upgrade them. The continent of Africa have to have its own currency. The bank, Central Bank of Africa, the Central Bank of mainland Nigeria, had it to upgrade all that. They are not the responsibility of these people that were laid to the arrest. It is the responsibility of the three crown. And the three crown are not indigent by constitution. There's nobody to come from outside to operate in Nigeria mainland government. So I will be the one to retain myself. Why we know that three crown is basically after God Almighty is I, and after I is King Charles III. After King Charles III is then King George Washington Bush Lord Albert. I think we have many other people 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So that's as a day around that, Doremus, we come to you in Zion, and Melchizedek is a very elderly old man. We expect we ourselves to live more than 70 and become what we need to be. Remember that the Quran is telling you a lot of things that you should all come out from them. They actually want to involve you in their governments, restrict Muhammadu Buhari. Whatever you see about him there, if you participate with him, you will likely lose your soul. I wish you all a new week. As you then mount on, find a Bible based living church and be part of them. Let them teach you the word of life. Assimilate. If you are not giving your life to Christ once, try to make sure you get asked questions about the access point of the United Nations or the world government. We want to employ you on cleaning the environment. That is a skill of the 77 section. We also want to employ you in the 78 section. The UN have been polarized, which is development of a community, finding prince, finding kings, making revivals, then bringing up a bishop or a prince or a sheikh, Ali, imam, somebody that will be well recognized. And then the World Trade Center is ready for all of you. If you cannot fly from anywhere in the world into the World Trade Center narrator, you are advised that if you are there, start together and conclude in your mind. There's an immediate government around you guys that is going to be able to certify you that you are upright in your elections. You have your immediate sovereign government, and bring all those people together to the World Trade Center, and anytime, any day, 24 hours, 247 is on. We'll be there on Thursdays. It's always on all the time. To register you, we will assist you financially. We will introduce you to the IMF. You guys will start something. The best thing to start something now is through Christmas. We have to, you must be able to understand that citizens must be rescued from poverty and from starvation and put something on the table to heat, create shelter for them. It's the responsibility of the military system, government of the heads. And that's what we are looking up to. Don't forget, there is more capital on ground, more than $700 trillion. And all this money is to be spent for you and I, that we all should be able to get it right. Don't forget, we are sovereignty. We are not as well got the Camry. It's a 2.5 million naira, and the subsidy on it alone is 2.54 million plus, and its price in market is 25,000 naira. So all of these are the beginning specifically of this government, and many other things follow. Remember what is happening in the book of Luke 9, 56. It said people were going around on Jesus telling people about how Jesus loved them. When he loved them, and then good news about Jesus. That's what we want to spread from the military head of stateship heads, whether it's the archiepiscopalship, whether it's the governor generalship, whether it's the presidency, whether it's whatever higher about the consonant to the United Nations. We continue to talk the very humanitarian mentality of people to go extra mile for one another so that we can understand that when the pocket is actually drained and nothing in the pocket again to give to one another, God has set this time since October 14th, Feast of Tabernacle 2022. He has set a time He has set a window of opportunity. He has set a global gateway program, a gateway. When the entrance is supplied, then the whole 8.9 billion citizens will go through it. And where there's a will, there's a way. Happy Sunday.